Hey, what's going on, guys? So fall's now upon us, and it has us starting to think a little bit more about rich, hearty, comfort food dishes that make us feel good. Well, I've got a perfect dish to kick off the season. Brisket pot pie. Smoked brisket and rich beef sauce with vegetables and puff pastry. We've got a reason to kick off the season, so stick around, I'll show you how. All right, let's make brisket pot pie. So the brisket I cooked off yesterday, I smoked it for 8 hours. It's a smaller brisket. It was seasoned with some mesquite seasoning, some paprika, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and a little cayenne. We smoked it about 225 for about 8 hours. Then we brought it in and we braised it with some red wine and some beef stock. And then we ended up reserving this really rich beef jus. So I've got a mirepoix here, which is celery, carrots, and onions, a little bit of parsley. We're gonna put this together. We're gonna top it with a little puff pastry. Let's get started. So here's what's left of our brisket after I ate half of it last night. I've got this nice little fat cap on here, which I'm gonna keep. And we're going to start on our vegetables. I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil in my pan, about a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to go ahead and add my veg. I'm going to season with a little salt and pepper. All right, these are starting to cook down and soften a bit. I'm going to go ahead and add my brisket. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of flour in here that we're going to use for thickening. We're going to go ahead and pour our jus in. If you don't go through the trouble of making the jus, I would just use about 2.5 cups of beef broth. And we're going to let this come to a boil and thicken. Now we have this really nice thick sauce, which I'm going to add a little Italian herbs, a little bit of ground thyme, some fresh chopped parsley, and we're just going to let this simmer while we move on to our puff pastry. Here we have our puff pastry. It's just store-bought sheets. These are the bowls we're going to use, these little ramekins. I'm going to go ahead and cut around the outside of this bowl, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch all around the edges. So we're going to go ahead and get our bowls filled and put the rest of this together. Start the music. All right, let's check it out. Now don't be intimidated, guys. It's basically brisket stew with a little puff pastry on top. You can do it. So I want to let you know I cooked it at 375 for about 25 minutes. Before we put them in, we egg washed them, and after we took them out, we brushed them with a little butter, sprinkled some sea salt and some parsley. By the way, if you enjoy great kitchen content, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We upload 2 to 3 times a week. We'd really appreciate it. Here we go. Cheers! Wow, those flavors are just popping. That brisket's really nice and smoky. I'm glad I took the time to make the jus because it's so rich and flavorful. puff pastries, really nice and flaky. It's a perfect fall dish. It's amazing. That's how that one goes.